The following presentation is brought to you as a courtesy from Forex Academy. This is part of our service, Live Beginner's Course. If you find it interesting and wish to be updated on new releases, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or join our community at forex.academy and receive all our services for free. Your like is also highly appreciated. Enjoy.
So let's have a look in some detail at trading these different time periods here. Here we have probably a more familiar asset to you guys than most. We have the Bitcoin US dollar chart, and we've actually chosen to analyze and look at the 1 minute price chart here. Straight away, what we can see is there is a lot of volatility. The question I would like to pose is, how do we decide to trade? Guys, how do we decide to trade this market? Just given that we've had some analysis on assessing price action, of course, in the Japanese candlesticks, and now that we hopefully have a little more understanding, could we potentially pick a trade opportunity? Well, let's just analyze this in a little detail, and what I'll use is a green pen just to look for a potential buy opportunity. So the first one that sticks out in mind of assessing these Japanese candlesticks is, of course, our Dragonfly Doji here. Here, this presents us, we see a bit of a trend structure to the upside, albeit with some volatility. We can see prices are moving in that direction. But can we look at one particular candlestick to give us the best trading opportunity, even though it's simply looking at 1 minute price charting? The answer is yes. We see this Dragonfly Doji just trading to the downside and then immediately reversing within the 1 minute. It trades to the upside. And as you can see, potentially that looking at this chart, that actually gives us one of the best trading opportunities as the prices move within perhaps 10 consecutive minutes of price action right to these highs. Again, we could look to take profit in and around anywhere within this period. So that would be a very fantastic short-term trade opportunity, just looking at our Bitcoin 1 minute price chart. Let's just delete that, and we'll discuss potentially some trading opportunities here to the downside. Well, what we can see in this price chart is we have these series of lower highs here. So this is leading in nicely to actually, getting an overall sense of how the market is trading with these Japanese candlesticks. We are seeing the market trading down, albeit with volatility, but we're seeing a series of lower highs. We can see that the trend is starting to become a little bearish, so we can potentially look for a trade here to the downside. Where would we might look to trade this market here? And of course, we choose somewhere along this level here. I'll just discuss this in some detail with some price action analysis here. Here are our lower highs, and we can see that the candles are trading or reversing quite succinctly from the highs again. This provides us with another great opportunity, but if we have missed it, we can look to actually follow the same structure. It is, of course, the understanding of these Japanese candlesticks that is supplementing our trading decision here and giving us this knowledge, and perhaps look to follow price movement to the downside. So that's just to name but a few, one particular buy opportunity within this market and one particular selling opportunity within this market, albeit we're looking at the 1 minute price chart. So perhaps within the course of 1 or 2 hours, we can get 2 separate trades off in this market. And again, it's simply just by looking and understanding the variance of signals provided to us by understanding the Japanese candlesticks here in the Bitcoin chart. Let's move across then to the daily Bitcoin price chart. And again, we can see a totally different setup, totally different structure to the overall market by looking at the daily price action. Again, the question is, how do we decide to trade? We have now taken a short position, a short sell position when the market is having a strong bullish day. So if I just revert back to our last trade setup, we decided to trade the market there. And now we're looking at the daily price action. This is, of course, the same trading day. So it does really give us more insight to how the market is more likely to trade to when we assess the Japanese candlesticks in different time periods, guys. Okay, so we've taken a short position. What we're effectively doing in terms of assessing the price action or the Japanese candlestick throughout the course of the day is that we're selling into the buyers. So when we break it down, perhaps at this stage it might not give us the best opportunity for a long-term sell trade. The nature of the candlestick itself signals a rejection to the downside. So what I'd like to do is just to highlight this in a little more detail. Today's candle is actually a bullish hammer. What that will dictate to us is that prices are more likely to actually trade to the upside. So potentially this may be our low of the market, and we might be looking to speculate on a more medium to long term trade for prices to rise again. Again, we chose a time to sell just there. So, it deliberates to us whether that was the correct decision at the time, trading the 1 minute price chart. So that is something we need to take into account, guys, when we decide to trade the markets. Let's look at the different time periods. Let's look at the setup of these Japanese candlesticks and really look to stack the odds in our favor. But it will become much more familiar to you, guys, as you understand more about trading different time periods, as you understand more about these Japanese candlesticks and what signals they provide in many different contexts within these markets. Here we have the euro dollar price chart. Again, I'll just remove this. The euro dollar price chart, if we can potentially look for some trading opportunities, the question is, how do we decide to trade? Well, again, we have a series of higher lows there, and we have a bullish uptrend. So that would dictate to us with observation of these Japanese candlesticks that we should have more of a directional bias to the upside. It is a clear sustained bullish trend, and we see bullish daily candlesticks there that can potentially look for buy opportunities. So we're definitely buyers of this market, just looking at, to assess the Japanese candlesticks, over a preference to actually sell the market. So that's again something that is indicative of an overall trend. And again, analyzing not just one particular Japanese candlestick, but a series of Japanese candlesticks to give you an overall area or more information to trading the market. Here is the euro dollar again with a 30-minute price chart again in the same trading day. We see the market is actually trading to the downside with a series of lower lows. Again, is it a time to sell trade? Well, the market is in a more short-term downtrend at the top of a short-term range. There is selling opportunity, of course. Does the technical analysis favor selling this market in the short term? So that is a question for all of you when deciding to trade the markets. Of course, look at the Japanese candlesticks, look at their setup over different time frames. But the decision is, of course, yours whether you'd like to potentially trade 30-minute candlesticks or potentially trade on a daily basis. And of course, you can get a profitable sell trade if you're trading potentially 30-minute price charts when the market is actually strong during the course of the day. So there is volatility there to be aware of and to involve yourself, and that can lead to profit opportunities.